Hi everybody, it's Jenn from McCreath. September 8th, 2022. I couldn't let the day go by without turning the camera on and remembering where I was 20 years ago today. It was quite the day in sports. Pete Sampras played his last professional tennis match by winning the US Open by beating Andre Agassi in a final which featured two guys that nobody thought still had it in them to go that deep into the tournament. They were not top seeds. Sampras, I believe, was a 17 seed, and he'd just been knocked out of Wimbledon in the second round by little-known George Bastel, and he showed up at the US Open and played one hell of a 2-week run for Pete, and he went out as a champion, and he retired at the ripe old age, I believe, of 30 or 31. And at the time I thought he felt very old, and now I sit here 20 years later feeling even more old. Of course, I didn't watch that tennis match live because I was physically at an NFL game. Opening Sunday, of course the final Sunday of the US Open, I was in Cleveland, Ohio, watching a very interesting, memorable football game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cleveland Browns. Most remembered for the Dwayne Rudd helmet toss. We had a game that was full of offense going back and forth. Cleveland took the lead with like a minute left, and the Chiefs were desperately trying to march down the field for one last try. Trent Green took the snap, dropped back, appeared to have been sacked by Dwayne Rudd. Rudd jumps up, throws his helmet, and starts celebrating. I've sacked the quarterback. We won the game. But guess what? You didn't actually sack the quarterback because he lateraled the ball off to John Tate. And John Tate ran the ball for 15 yards. The whistle blew when he was tackled. And because Dwayne Rudd threw his helmet during the actual play, he thought the game was over, but the game actually was still going on. He got a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike, and the game can't end on a defensive penalty. We all know that. 15 yards, game extended for one untimed down. Off the bench comes, at this stage, a fairly old Morton Anderson making his debut with the Kansas City Chiefs. Boom, field goal down the pipe, right up the middle. Chiefs win by 1 point. 80,000 Cleveland Browns fans in shock. They had no clue what hit them. I didn't really know either. I was up in the cheap seats. I didn't see the lateral. Nobody really knew what happened. I was dangerously wearing a Kansas City Chiefs jersey amongst the Cleveland faithful, and it was quite the experience to be at that game. And for me as a Chiefs fan, to see the Chiefs win is always exciting. This was year 2 of the Trent Green / Dick Vermeil era. The previous season was a disappointing 6-10. There were high hopes that 2002 would be the year for the Chiefs. Trent Green was on fire. We had a guy named Priest Holmes as a running back. And of course we had Tony Gonzalez. Of course Morton Anderson brought in as the kicker. And we started the year 1-0. But Cleveland would have the last laugh. They started 0-1, but they ended up going 9-7. And they made the playoffs that year, where the Chiefs ended up 8-8 and missing the playoffs by 1 game. But quite the day in the history of sports. Pete Sampras winning at the US Open and eventually bowing out to say goodbye, and of course me enjoying the Kansas City Chiefs winning. So here we are 20 years later. I've now gone from male to female. Serena Williams just retired at the age of 40. And guess what? It's Thursday night, and the NFL is getting ready to kick off their season. We now have a Thursday night opener. It's become a new tradition. The Super Bowl champs open the season the Thursday before the first Sunday, and we're ready to kick off literally right now the Buffalo Bills against the Los Angeles Rams. So we're going to turn this off and watch the game. Thanks for enjoying the memories.